Good day. Good day, and welcome to Mental Health and You. I'm your host, Cynthia Timms. Well, according to the National Kidney Foundation, a 2024 report states that 33% of Americans are at risk of kidney disease. 33%, 2024. Now, if you add the black community, that's like at least 3 times according to this report. Black community is even more impacted by that. Kidney disease. I'm certain someone knows out there somebody who's dealing with this, a family member, a friend, a neighbor in our community. It seems to me you can't even walk around without seeing a kidney dialysis center somewhere. They are as common as any fast food joint. They're as common as any liquor store, I dare say. They're as common as McDonald's. Now, why is that? We're going to dive into that. But we're going to do this more personally because we're going to talk about this on this day. I'm so honored from Fort Worth, Texas, to bring somebody's story personally about it. He's here with his wife, he's here with his mother in the studio. Without further ado, I want to bring Troy and Renee Burgher from Fort Worth, Texas. Hello, welcome to Mental Health and You, y'all.
Well,
Hey, hi, Cynthia.
Oh, thank you. And in the studio with me, I want to introduce his mother, Brenda Timms,
hello.
from New Jersey. By way of where, Brenda?
By way of Union City, New Jersey.
Okay. Okay, please, from the audience, please. uh, Kidney disease and mental health. We're going to talk about today how it has impacted our community and continues to impact our community. As I tried to articulate in the introduction, it impacts the black community much more than the white community. Why is that? Ask yourself. Considering what we have been through in this society, the impact of racism, the impact of so much. But today, we're going to make it personal. That's why I wanted to bring Troy Burgher. Troy, you are the founder of TAB Training and Consulting. First, what is that?
It's a business that provides technology training in inner city communities, dealing with community centers and other nonprofit organizations, religious institutions. But it's geared towards helping those who don't have the access, who don't have the knowledge, to obtain that knowledge so that they can find, career paths or career enhancement.
Okay. So you're doing this good work, helping our community, helping the community at large. But then a few years ago, your life got turned around. You got diagnosed with kidney disease. Can you talk about that? How long ago how long ago did that happen?
Um, so it started April in 2022. And what I thought was just kind of a cold or possibly even the flu, went to the emergency room. Within 24 hours, I was diagnosed with pneumonia. Then I had respiratory failure. And then the doctors came to my wife and I and discussed intubating me because they felt like that was the only solution to stop my body from deteriorating, basically. And while I was there, they informed my wife that I was diagnosed with chronic kidney disease. So she actually was the first one to know the diagnosis.
Did you
And then
have any
once,
symptoms, Troy? Was there any? Did you have any inkling, any symptoms? What was your life like before all of this?
well, remember too that this was right around COVID time.
Okay.
So I was actually seeing a nephrologist because they did, after running some blood tests, did diagnose me at stage 3 going on 4, which was kind of ironic to me. So what happened to stages 1, 2, and 3?
Mm.
And so due to COVID, due to doctors shutting down their offices, due to hospitals not seeing quote unquote regular patients, I think and I also contracted COVID as well. And I think all of these kind of expedited what eventually led me to having end stage renal failure.
So you're diagnosed. So what's the first step as a kidney patient? What advice are you getting? What advice are you taking? And yes, what I mean, were you immediately put on dialysis? Were you put on any type of medication? Were you sent to other specialists?
No, I
What are you
mean,
told? Were you even something? Anybody talk to you about your diet or your lifestyle? Any type of thing like that?
that was the first thing that they mentioned. Since they diagnosed me at between stage 3 and 4, they said, well, we'll be able to improve this as long as you change your diet, exercise more, and then I was sent to a nephrologist specialist who I would have to see once every month, and they would take my blood, and there were certain indicators that measured the amount of protein that was actually leaving the bloodstream, and some of the other things that they look at. There's a acronym GFR, and excuse me, I don't remember what it stands for, but
Okay,
that's one of the key indicators that they look to measure how well your kidney is performing.
I understand. And I want to, Miss Brenda, I'm glad you're with us today.
Hmm.
As his mother, um, was there any history of kidney disease in your family?
No, none whatsoever.
Mm,
Nope.
none.
Not on his father's side or my side as well.
Okay,
As much as we know about our
okay.
family's health history, but there was nothing ever mentioned through any kind of conversations, grandparents or whatever.
So, Troy, be that as it may, what did the specialists or the doctors say that could stem from?
Well, I also
Was
do.
it environmental factors? What was it? Was it your diet? Was it your life? What was it?
I'm also a diabetic,
Okay.
so that's typically what anyone on CKD is told, that diabetes is the leading cause of kidney failure.
Yes. And thank you for bringing that out. In my research for this show, particularly in communities of color, we deal with so much physically. We deal with diabetes on a higher level than a lot of people. We deal with hypertension on a higher level than other people. We get things in our community, um, just fast foods, and just the food choices in our community, and the lack, I dare say, of health care
Mm.
that you can get. So all of these facts, and we're going to touch on the impact of systematic racism in our community.
Mm.
Uh, the inability to be able to get the medical needs met. Uh, but this is not new.
Right.
This is not new. But I just wanted to put that out there. So Renee, as the wife, what were you thinking? What was going through your mind? Were you afraid for your husband? What was going? Your husband's been diagnosed with kidney disease. You know he had diabetes, but now he has. So, how did that up in your life, both of your lives? How did what was the shift looking like?
It was a huge shock at first,
Mm-hmm.
but as being in the hospital, watching, listening, asking a million questions, I just took things one day at a time. I talked to Miss Brenda a lot so we can make informed decisions that were best for Troy. Is challenging to watch the person that is your friend, your husband, your spouse in that kind of situation, and it is nothing you can do. You just have to wait things out. It was tough.
Wait things out. Ms.
Hmm.
Renee, I'm hearing that. I'm also hearing the anxiety. I'm also hearing the pain. I mean, I can. It's 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 heartbreaking, but this is real.
Hmm.
This is real stuff in our community. But this is your story, because it's hit home now.
Hmm.
It's not your friends, it's not your neighbors, it's not your coworkers, it's you. It's your husband.
Hmm.
Troy, this is you.
Mm-hmm.
So when after the diagnosis, what did the doctors recommend? I guess what I'm asking now, how soon were you recommended to a dialysis machine? Did they
I
tell you
started
this is what you had to do?
I started getting dialysis while I was still in the hospital,
Hmm.
which I was in the hospital for over 45 days. And so I was getting treated every third day. When I came out of intubation, I actually could not walk. I
Wow.
could not feed myself. I could not talk. I could not write. So you want to talk about the mental aspect of that. Here I am, a 51-year-old man,
With your
and last
own
I
business,
remember,
you're
my
working,
own
all
business.
the factors, that all the energy that you're putting into that,
Yes,
and that's full time. And now you
yes,
got to deal with this. You're
Hmm.
already dealing with diabetes, but now you got to deal with this.
yes.
I'm just wanting to put that out. So say, so how was that? Now you now you're on dialysis machine, and tell me what that first day looked like. You're going, where are you going, by the way?
In the hospital. I was going to the dialysis clinic inside the hospital.
And what did that look like?
Very scary place. You are as unfamiliar is not like any room I've ever seen, even on a TV show. And the nurses there were very nice. They talked you through it. They did put some ease, but then you see people walking around with these big containers of fluid, and you're like, that's going to go inside of me. And I had no understanding of what the process was. So that in itself, and then it's a 3 to 4 hour session
How
each
many
time,
days a week? How many days a week?
3 days a week.
So now your life is really upended. How can you work full-time job, work your business, and do this?
Many people can't. I've been fortunate enough that my current place of employment, since this situation happened, was very open and allowing me to work around dialysis, allowing me to go back down to part time and still keep me on, keep me on the clock. So I'm very fortunate and very thankful for them in
Yeah.
that regard. But it has, that also trickles down to what's going on at home, paying bills,
Yes.
making sure we meet all of the appointments. And as you stated, I'm dealing with CKD and being diabetic, so nothing else stops. When flu season comes around, you deal with that. Because of the diabetes, it can affect other organs. And dare I say this, prior to me turning 51, I might have had one procedure in the hospital. In the last 4 years, I've had about 53.
What procedures? What are we talking about?
We're talking about, so part of the dialysis, they have to implant a catheter. My first catheter was in my neck, then it was in my chest, then it got infected, so that had to be removed and replaced. Then I got the bright idea of trying to do dialysis at home, it's called peritoneal dialysis.
Yes.
So I had to have the catheter in my chest taken out and a catheter put in my belly. And because that took so much of our time, 11 hours a day, 7 days a week, that left us with no life. I could barely work at that time. So we came to the decision to go back into the clinic. Now I had to have that device removed from my belly, had to put another device in my chest. And then now I have what's called a fistula, which is where they take the vein and the artery in one arm, attach it together. So now when I go for dialysis, they stick two long needles in my arm every single session, and that's how the blood is taken out, cleaned, and put back in.
You know, Troy, I would be remiss. We had this conversation before, but you're in Texas, Fort
Yes.
Worth, Texas. And I must ask, because we've had it, how has the insurance, how is the health, the life, the health insurance, how is the medical insurance, I should ask, as a contrast to say, had you been in New York City still, or even North Carolina, what has been your access to the medical necessities that you need? The being able to get to the center,
Hmm.
the medications that you need. You know, we're living in a time where a lot of people are losing their medical care.
Yes.
You know, and you're in Texas with a governor. You know, I dare say, what's his name again? We won't. But you're living in with a governor who seems to think that maybe y'all don't need health care. You know, at least for some people. So, what has been the merry-go-round on the maze of this trying to navigate a health system? Like
I'm going to answer
insurance.
that in two
Insurance.
parts.
Yes, go ahead.
First part, I would say, thankfully, through our employer, the health insurance has been okay. It's
Okay.
taking care of everything, very little stress there.
Mm-hmm.
However, within the medical field itself, I think we all have an assumption that doctors have the answers
Mm.
to what pains us, or the medical field. Maybe I should say it that way. We have learned over the last 4 years, one, not to believe that. Two, you have to be a 1000% advocate for yourself and your health. And that means every little thing has to be questioned. And so our challenges have not been so much with the insurance aspect, thankfully, but so much so with the doctors and the facilities. And when I go to a dialysis clinic, I need this machine to survive.
Yes.
And I'm sorry if I feel like everybody that works there should have my best interest in mind for those 4 hours I'm there.
Wow.
Not always the case.
And when you go to these clinics, Troy, when you go to there, who's in there? What the other recipient, what other patients, what do they look like? Where do they come from?
There may be up to 30 or 40 other patients. Um, my first day, I felt like I was the baby of the group. Everyone, I would say, average age might have been 65 and older.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a mental thing I had to deal with. Like, really feeling like, do I really belong here? Why am I here? Those questions hit me. And then it's just, so if you have 40 patients, there may be 10 technicians. Those are the individuals who are responsible for connecting you to the machine. And then there's two or three nurses who provide that additional nurse care while you're there.
Right.
But the trouble with that is they rotate.
Mm-hmm.
So as I'm getting accustomed to this technician who does the sticking, that's what it's called when they place the needles in your arm, and it's as least painful as possible. Then the next day I come in, it's somebody different, and it could be somebody new. Same thing with the nurse. If you convey to the nurse, hey, I'm having some problems after dialysis session, I was cramping, I was hurting, and then when you come back in the following day, it's a different nurse, and there's no information that's shared.
Right.
So when we talk about mental, yeah, that part of it. Oh, and my weight. You want to talk about stress?
Yes.
Me being concerned about my weight before every session. If it's too high, I did something bad to make it too high. If
According
it's
to
too
who?
low,
Well, you're thinking this within. Who's
the
making
nurse,
you feel this way?
the nurse.
Really, she's actually saying it. See you,
Yes.
or she's making you feel real. Oh wow.
Some of them, maybe the bedside manner isn't as great as it could be or should be.
Uh huh.
Oh, I guess you had a good time this weekend. You drank too much fluid, huh?
Maybe she's just joking, Troy.
No,
Maybe she's just
no.
making you try to make you feel. I'm just. I
I've
say
seen it
that.
gain
I'm
you weight.
saying that. I'm saying that. But I know you make it. But that's really heartbreaking. So now just the physicality, just what you're going through physically, and now
Mm-hmm.
you're emotionally,
Mm-hmm.
you're not made to feel whole
Mm-hmm.
because the bedside manner of those who maybe who shouldn't be in there in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Brenda, I come back to you. You've been making trips back and forth to Fort Worth,
Absolutely.
and you're hearing this from your son and your daughter-in-law, and your trips down there. What are you hoping that you can bring? I mean,
Whatever I can
yes.
do, whatever I can free up time for my daughter-in-law, who is my daughter, that I love very much. If I can free up any time for her, not to be worried about little things, cooking, cleaning, laundry,
Yes.
whatever. That's what I'm there for. And to bring laughter and joke with them and listen to music with them.
And then speaking of all that, Miss Renee,
Yes.
thank God for your mother-in-law. What about a home health aide or any type of service like that? Somebody who can help you day in. Is that available?
There are resources, but you got to do a little work to find them. I'm I'm quite sure our insurance would cover like a home health care person, but with some situations you rather just take care of it yourself
Okay.
instead of depending on a stranger to care for my loved one like I would.
Understood. Understood. Troy, what is your chances? Are you on the list for a transplant? What's the deal with that?
Oh, you want to talk about mental stress?
Uh-huh.
So
Transplant
you
list.
go in thinking, okay, everybody knows I have CKD. I need a, you know, basically dialysis is just that bridge to the transplant.
Okay.
Well, the transplant process, now I've completed two. The first one, I was told too big, too much belly fat, and I didn't completely heal from a wound that I was working on or working with. So I understand that. That probably makes perfect sense. This time now, I go through 90% of the process. Then I end up in the hospital. They check my heart and discover that I need stents. Sorry, not splints. Stents inserted. Now, I didn't have any chest pain. I didn't have anything that I would think would be an issue for the heart. But okay, they found it. So what I'm trying to say is that process. I think outside looking in, people think, oh, you're on dialysis. You might need to wait a little while. They'll put you on the list. No, basically, you're being interviewed, and the hospital's only going to accept good candidates
So what are
for
you?
that.
So what are you saying, Troy? You're not a good candidate?
According to them, I'm not.
Oh, and that's because of what again?
Well, now it was because of the fact that they had to insert the stents
Uh-huh.
into my heart. That kind of pushed things off another 6 to 8 months,
Okay.
and then I have to go back and be reevaluated. So it is a process. It's no guarantee. I know getting a transplant isn't a guarantee, but getting on the list, I thought it was an automatic thing. Like, you know, diagnosed, you go to dialysis, you go to every treatment. I've never missed a treatment. I've never been late. I've never left early, even when I went out of town. I thought I was checking off all the boxes.
Uh,
Didn't know that there was a 3-day process.
wow.
They evaluate your mental, they evaluate your finances, they evaluate obviously your health. Did not know it was that extensive until we actually got or started the process.
Yeah, speaking of all that, we talk about in mental health, we're talking about our support system when we're going through stuff. You have your wife, you have your mother,
Yes.
uh, but in this center, I don't even know the staff. I can't. I don't know how much support can all things considering what you shared with us. But what about the mental part? I mean, what about chaplains? What about therapists? What about a dietitian, a nutritionist? What about just what about among your other the patients in there? How do you support each other, if at all, or is there?
We're like a family to each other. We greet each other when we see each other. When someone is missing from a chair,
Mm-hmm.
we ask the question, "Hey, what happened to Miss Brown? Is she okay?"
Mm-hmm.
And then when we see her come back, perhaps she had to go to the hospital, perhaps she was out of town. But we do check in with one another. If we don't ask each other as patients, we'll ask the staff.
Okay.
Now, yes, there's a dietitian that's there. There's
The reason why I asked because they mentioned something about your weight. So I mean,
yes.
do they provide nutritionists? Do they provide dietitians? Do they provide anything like to help you get more prepared for a possible transplant?
Well, here's a catch 22 with the weight, and they all agree to it, but yet they still give us a hard time as patients.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot tell the difference between fluid gain and true natural weight gain.
Okay.
There's no process, there's no machine. They weigh us when we leave, they weigh us when we come back. So that's where some of that anxiety comes in.
Absolutely.
I'll find myself not eating certain things the night before I go to dialysis or the day
Understood.
before I go to dialysis.
Troy and Renee, in this time left, what would you want someone to know if you knew then what you know now? What would you tell someone about this whole process, this whole, I dare say, ordeal?
Your kidneys are more important than what the education system led us to believe. And dare I say, maybe even the medical profession.
Okay.
I wish, and what I'm trying to do and be an advocate for is not only stress how important they are, all the things that they do, and what you can do to make sure, whether it's asking for a certain test, just because you give blood and they weigh you during a physical and they say, okay, good, stamp of approval. No, I need to know what my GFR is. I need to know what my creatine is. I need to know. So these are certain things that'll give you an indication
But
as
sure.
to how of the health of your kidneys.
Troy, we're going to have to leave it there. But this is going to be continued, y'all. This is not new in our community. I want to thank my guests, Troy and Renee Burgher. I want to thank Brenda Timms for being part of this ongoing experience in mental health in you. Y'all take care of yourselves, take care of each other. From me to you, I want to thank Bronxnet. Thank you. Take